All right, welcome back. We're continuing on with this eyelid. We've got our left eyelid created and converted into polygons. Now we're going to work, and we have the thickness in there. We'll come back and do the tear duct at another time, but now we're going to focus on this outer edge here and start forming the brow and the inside of the nose. So from the front view here, I'm going to make a few adjustments, and let's see here if I can go to a little bit of a shaded view here. I'm going to grab some of these edges and I'm going to start spreading them out a little bit. I'm going to have one that comes up towards the middle. This one's going to come a little bit further up towards the brow. And this one's going to start forming the underside of the brow. And I kind of want to adjust the general flow of these. This one can come almost straight out and start defining the edge of that nose. And I can come down the side of the nose on this one. Same with these. Go up a little bit more. Maybe actually bring this a little closer to the middle. And I'm looking at two things. I'm looking at the flow around this way. I'm also looking at the flow of each of these edges and how they come out from one edge to the other. You don't want to mess with this too much because we pretty much got that nailed down when we were using the NURBS curves. All right. So the next step is we're going to start bringing edges across this direction. And I'm going to extrude these edges here, all the ones that are somewhat facing the middle, and I'm going to extrude them across to the bridge of the nose here. So I'm going to go to edge mode, and let's go ahead and hit extrude. Now, because they're all at an angle, our extrude tool is also at an angle, so I'm going to hit this little power button here to straighten it out, and I'm just going to go straight across about to there. And then I'm going to go to edge mode and I'm going to take these and snap them, move and snap them to the center edge here, the center line. So I'll hold X and I'll grab the red arrow, in this case the X direction, and just let them snap against there to create a nice hard edge along there. And then that's going to define the shape of how the brow turns into the nose. So let's go to the side view. And these, remember, these edges right down the middle are going to meet up with the actual profile of the character. So I'm going to select all of them like this, just to click and drag across there, and then come back out here and we're going to move them all forward. And then align each one with the profile image here. And I'm trying to do it just moving them in one axis. I'm not moving them up and down, I'm just moving them left to right at this point. Okay, so let's look at this. So now you can see how that's starting to form. Now that just goes to the edge. There's also, we're going to have to bring them out, right? Because the nose doesn't just come to a sharp point like that. So we'll start to add more edges in here to start forming that. So good time to save. Go ahead and save. All right, so what we're going to do next is we're going to start to add some edges here to still help create the thickness that we need. So let's grab a mesh tool, and we use the multi-cut. I'm going to start right here. I'm going to click on that spot, and I'm going to go straight up through, trying to keep it parallel to the center line. So release the mouse, hit enter, and then I'm going to go to the bottom of this one where it kind of starts to angle out, and do the same thing. Keep it kind of parallel to the center line, and enter that in. And what that's going to do is help us create more of a flat position along here. So I'm going to go into select mode, back to vertex. Let's go here. You can actually go, if you want, just to edge first. Select that edge. And then let's move it out. Not too far there. See some of its... Actually, I'm just going to go to vertex mode and move it out. So this should be almost to where the next one is. And go back and forth, make sure you're keeping tabs on how that's affecting everything. So this one's going to come out a little bit further. So what we're doing here is creating more of a flat edge across the front of the nose. You see how this is flat here? That way, when we finish this up, when we flip this over, we don't end up with a point on the front. We have a nice rounded edge. So we can actually bring these closer to the middle. And the reason I say that is let's select both that and what we have down here on the nose. So basically this edge here is going to help us define this edge here. So let's move these a little bit closer. Could even line them up. Just hold V and move them in one direction and then align them to the points below. And then go back to 3D, and you can see kind of there's some spots here that we need to kind of adjust. Like this one needs to come out a little bit to help kind of Alright, this would be a good time to save. And now, if you have the same points that I have, you're going to see I've got a couple triangles in here, there and there. Let's go ahead and get rid of those. We can do that by going to Mesh Tools, Multi-Cut, and I'm going to start here, and I'm going to come down right about here. It helps give me kind of a little bit of an increase, indent from the nose. Across this, and then end up at that point right there. And then we'll go to edge mode and select that edge and edit mesh and delete edge vertex. So now we've cleaned that up. We've got four-sided polygons everywhere, and that helps us kind of give us a little bit more mesh to work with. But at the same time, I'm going to go ahead and create another new edge all the way around here. Now we might be able to use an insert edge loop tool. Let's see what happens. Insert edge loop. Yeah, it's going to let us do that. And I'm going to go about halfway. And we'll go right in there. Now what this is going to do, it's going to let me kind of contour that eyelid just a little bit. Right now it's a little flat and boring, so let's go ahead and make a couple of adjustments to this. All right, so we've got that new piece in there. Now, one of the things I'm going to do with this new one is if we select both the face and that, we can see we have quite a few edges coming up in the nose here. This one I'm going to have connect to the third one in, so eventually we could move this one and go up, or we could just connect it to one of these points. We'll probably condense these into just maybe 2 instead of 4 across here. So I need a couple more edges coming off of the eye, so I'm going to go back to Mesh Tools, go to Multi-Cut, and where this line starts to come across, I'll click and bring that out to create a new edge. And I'm going to do one more coming from this edge. So I'm going to come out this way, and let's end it right here in the corner. And then we'll come up and we'll clean this up a little bit. So go back to edge mode, and let's change this so that these are 4-sided polygons. So I'm going to click on this one here, and we'll go to Edit Mesh and Delete Edge Vertex. And let's go ahead and grab this one and do the same thing. So Edit Mesh, Delete Edge Vertex. So these two are now 4-sided. You see, got rid of all those pieces. And actually for this one, I'm looking at it and try to move. Instead of deleting, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to vertex mode. I'm going to combine these two. I'm just going to move this one out. So I'm going to select it, go to move, hold V, and then snap it to that piece. And I'm going to crisscross over both to select them and then merge those together. So edit merge, and you can see now we've got a pretty smooth transition. Now this is a triangle, obviously. If we need to, we can move this. Let's go ahead and move this out a little bit. And I'm going to go ahead and bring an edge down this way one more time. So we'll go to Edit Tools, Multi-Cut, start there. And this edge will start to go towards the nose. And then we can get rid of the edge here. So I'm going to go to Edit Mesh, Delete Edge Vertex. I'll try to reshape this a little bit here, so we can move this out. And maybe even down a little bit. Try to create a little bit more of an edge going across to the nose. So now we're starting to get some nice, we're starting to converge from these circular edges to more of a horizontal edge that'll help us kind of profile the face. Now if we look back here at the side view of this, I can probably bring some of these back just a little bit more. This can probably come up a little bit more. And then these will all eventually line up with the edges that are forming the nose. And that's looking pretty good. Let's look at it from perspective here. With the edges on, you can kind of start to gauge an idea where these are going to end up. So the cheek, obviously, we're going to have to come back and kind of restructure a little bit of this cheek, because as it comes up from the corner of the mouth, it's going to come up towards the nose more and then fall in line with this part of the eye. All right, so I'm going to leave that there. That's your eye the half of the eye mask. And then when we come back on the next video, we'll go through the process of merging these and bringing them down together and start cleaning up the nose and the cheek. All right?